Now, Paulie Malignaggi said a few words, and those words were pretty powerful words when you think about what he was saying. Paulie Malignaggi says that nobody can touch Shakur Stevenson at 135 or 140, including Tank. Now we gotta assess this. If these words are true, then that would mean Shakur Stevenson right now is a Hall of Fame fighter. Because based off of these words, that would mean that Shakur beats Tank, Devin, Teo, Sabril, the Floyd Schofields. You know, I'm talking about the up and coming talent now. You know what I mean? What's that other guy? Hitchinson, even though they're friends. Like, he's saying he would clear out the whole Williams Zepeda, Navarrete. He's saying he would clear out the entire two divisions of 135 and 140. You know what I mean? Rollies, the Ryans. He went as far as to say that Shakur Stevenson is the best pure boxer in the world. This is what Malignaggi said. And then Malignaggi made a statement that I agree with and that I've been saying for months. He said that it's not about who's more exciting. He said it's about who's more effective. Malignaggi said Shakur Stevenson is the most effective boxer. Whether you think it's exciting or boring, he's more effective than any other fighter in the world. The way that Shakur fought Elwin De Los Santos, most fighters will lose to that style. Although the crowd may boo, Shakur is a guy that knows how to get in, get out. He knows how to hit and make the opponents miss. Shakur Stevenson has the best defensive metrics. His opponents hit him the least amount than any other fighter. And he has cat-like reflexes, according to Terrence Crawford. What's up, Ricky?
What's good, my dude?
Chilling, man.
Okay. What's this thing you have here? Nobody can touch Shakur Stevenson.
Paulie Malignaggi said that nobody can touch Shakur at 135 or 140, including Tank. He then went on to say that Shakur is the most effective boxer and the best pure boxer in the world. He said that if people treat Shakur right, or they assess him right, then he will be number one pound for pound in the sport. That's what Paulie Malignaggi said.
You know what? Do you remember the night that he fought Oscar Valdez? You have to admit he looked like butter that night. Like he didn't get touched
Yeah.
at all.
He
Like
looked
that
perfect.
Shakur that's locked in like that. He's a problem for anyone. Like seriously, like Tank anyone, because he literally looked like just butter that night, just untouchable, like amazing. Like seriously.
I agree. What's
So
up, Jeffa? But I agree. The Oscar Valdez fight was amazing.
that Shakur, no one can beat. But I know his last couple fights, he looked like shit. Not as impressive. But if he locks in the way he did against Valdez against anyone, I don't really see anyone beating that Shakur.
I wouldn't say his last couple of fights. I would just say his last fight. Now,
I think
Teffa, Paulie Malignaggi says that nobody could touch Shakur at 135 or 140, including Tank. What do you think about that, man?
I mean, as far as where he is now, looking at Shakur, first of all, I think that last episode was a stunt, an emotional stunt. A little young man just pouting, but he's what it is. He's a fighter for real. But to answer that question, standing here right now, man, to me, nobody can touch Shakur right now. To
Hmm.
me, he has all the tools that are needed. He hasn't not really even peaked yet to even really see those talents when he gets older. But you can see them. I see him in Devin Haney. I booed him for a long time. I just couldn't grab a hold to him, but he's the real deal, man.
Yeah, Devin
Haney,
is the
Haney
real
is
deal.
the
KJ, I'll
real.
come back. Okay, I'll come back. I'm
That's
sorry.
fine.
I'll come back. I'll come back. I'll come back.
That's fine.
Haney is the real deal. But getting back to that, I gotta go with Shakur on any level because he's ready to grow. And he's going to be in the game a long time. You know,
Hmm.
he's going to raise a couple generations in this boxing world. You know, his name will
Yeah.
be known. He will be known. He's getting ready to have a fight card coming up in his town. I'm going to that show live. I'm gonna go on back home to Newark. I'm gonna go to that show. I'm gonna talk to Pop. I'm know all of them. I'm gonna go up in the back and I'm gonna get some photos for you guys. We're gonna talk. I'm gonna bring up a little subject with Shakur because he's very open minded
Yep.
when you communicate with him. But I overall, I give it to Shakur Stevenson, man.
Hey man, if y'all in the chat, the people that's watching, make sure y'all tapping the screen. Let's get these likes up, man. Thank you. Now, I gotta go and I gotta agree with you, Shakur, when they said that nobody could touch Shakur. That's literal because Shakur Stevenson, his opponents land the least amount of punches in all of boxing. It's a little bit over 5 punches. So when they say that nobody could touch him, not only is it, a metaphor,
Hmm.
but it's literal. They literally can't catch up with the man. They literally can't touch the man because his footwork, his reflexes, and his defense is that
It's
great. His
remarkable.
distance management is that great.
Yes. And I just have to give credit where it's due. And for anybody to take professionals and lower them down of who they are is crazy,
Hmm.
because that level where they are make them the elite people that they are for you to be entertained, whatever you want to call it. But
Exactly.
I can tell you the average person can't get in there and do what they do, regardless of what they say.
Yeah, a lot of people they have no idea. They have no idea,
They
man.
have no idea,
They be
man.
talking all of this
Yes,
hoopla, and it's like,
yes,
bro, if one of these guys hit you
yes.
in the stomach, you're gonna go to your knees.
Yeah, and you know another thing, just the hours that these fighters put in sparring, you got to give credit behind the scenes. Give credit where it's due. Let's get on wrestling. Now they said wrestling is not real, wrestling is real, but we know it's entertainment.
Right.
But behind the scenes, it is real.
And
Those
them
guys are
injuries,
practicing.
them injuries real.
Wrestling is real.
Yeah. Those injuries
It's
is real,
real.
man. Now, it's another thing Malinaji said, man. I gotta
Yeah.
ask you personally.
Right.
Paulie Malinaji said that if Shakur were to fight Tank Davis, he would beat him and he would make it look easy. Now, what you gotta say to that?
That there,
Sorry, my
I would
bad.
have I would have to disagree, because number one, Shakur don't have that kind of power to knock out a Javante Davis. That's number one. And
Hell
we
no.
and we
Tank
saw
could take
that
a
with
punch.
we saw that with Cruz. Cruz gave him pound for pound 12 rounds, the same hard knock. Shakur don't fight like that.
Yeah. I agree 100%. I don't think Shakur would knock out Tank, but I think Malinaji is saying that
Yeah.
Shakur will put on a boxing master class. You know what I mean? 12 rounds, make hitting Tank and making Tank miss for 12 rounds. So, do you agree with that? Do you think Shakur would completely outclass Tank over the course of 12
Well,
rounds,
to me at
outbox
that
him?
point, that sounds like a bunch of running to me. That's what it's. I mean, cat and mouse,
Now,
and I don't like them kind of fights. So some fights are not meant to be because of those two situations. We coming to see a
right,
fight, which is a guy come to bring the fight, but we see a guy at the fight who's gonna kind of like back and pedal off the fight, because that
right.
power that Tank has in both hands, Shakur knows that is there.
It's generational. It's not no regular power.
Right,
That's a
right,
generation thing
right.
for his power. That's generational power.
Yeah.
Usually, a lightweight isn't supposed to be able to generate that much power. So it's really
No,
amazing what Tank is
that's
able to
right.
do.
No.
Now, if y'all in the chat, make sure y'all tapping the screen, liking the live. Thank you. But here's the thing, though.
Mhm.
Polygon Najee made a great point. He said it's not about what's more exciting, it's about what's more effective. He said Shakur is the most effective boxer in all of boxing. And he also said if he fights like he fought against De Los Santos, who is a dangerous guy and a big puncher, De Los Santos got a bunch of knockouts. If he fights like that against Tank, he doesn't see how Tank could win that fight. Although
Well,
the crowd may boo and people may judge him and call him a runner and a track star, he will get his hand raised after 12 rounds.
right,
So
but
that's
when go ahead, my man. Go ahead. What you saying? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to finish off and say, so
I'm
that's
sorry.
just, something that people have to be on the lookout for when they say Shakur versus Tank. Shakur may not put on a memorable performance, but for what he's able to do with his footwork and his distance management, his reflexes, I really don't see how Tank wins that without getting a knockout.
Well, see, that's where it comes, and would that be a good fight? Knowing the styles. Tank is going to be frustrated. Shakur going to make him look bad. Like you said, a lot of punches might miss. It's a frustrating fight. It's like, like, okay, the level we looking at it on as professionals and talking on analysis and stuff. Great, okay, but would it make a good right fight for the real entertainment world? I don't know.
Now, Kevin, I got to say this, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
If Tank is truly great,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people don't know this. I didn't know this stat until the other day when I rewatched Benavidez versus Andre.
Mhm.
But before Demetrius Andre fought David Benavidez, he was right behind Shakur Stevenson in a defensive metric of making his opponents miss.
Mhm.
Demetrius Andre was statistically the second best defender in all of boxing. His opponents only landed a little bit over 5 punches.
Even with
After the
Lamo.
Benavidez fight, hold on, I'm gonna finish the point. After the Benavidez fight, he got moved down to like number 4 or number 5 in the world.
Mhm.
And David Benavidez lands 37% of all of his total punches. That's second in all of boxing. He's a light heavyweight. The guy ahead of him is Bam Rodriguez, a flyweight. So if Tank truly is the offensive juggernaut that I think he is, he's gonna have to be able to nullify whatever Shakur is able to do, because that's what Benavidez did to one of the best defensive fighters in the world. He pretty much just nullified all of it with his offense. As they say, great offense beats great defense.
Right.
I mean,
But
nigga was 30
Tank
pounds
has a
overweight.
way of manipulating your thought process.
230.
Just the fact you in the ring with him is mental. That's number one. Number two is you know what he's coming with both hands. So number three is you more on a defensive style with Tank. If you kind of analyze Shakur and look at Tank, you can see a lot of speed, a lot of movement, but you can see Tank still hunting him down. I don't see
Right.
Tank changing anything, and he's gonna hunt him down. Why? Tank can take them shots. He proved it coming in on
Yeah.
you. He
Yeah.
proved it. And when
He
he
can
come, go ahead.
he can walk through shots like the great fighters. You see Floyd do it. You see Canelo do it.
Yeah.
And Shane Mosley said Floyd and Canelo power felt the same, but those guys, and Tank, pound for pound, he hits harder than both of them. But
Yeah.
those guys, they don't mind getting hit by a hard
They
shot in
don't.
order to land that big
If you
shot. They don't
imagine
mind.
you throwing them kind of punches to Tank, that's weakening your arms. People don't understand the logistics of boxing until you get in there. You're hurting your arms, hitting that power. He's resisting against it, and you punching it, trying to come on, man. You doing that for 12 rounds? You ain't gonna do it all with a jab. A
Right.
jab just ain't gonna do that.
Hey, if y'all in this chat, man, say we got like a couple people, make sure y'all tapping the screen. Let's get these lights up, man.
Yeah,
Don't just watch, tap the screen. Now it
yeah.
says
Because Tank would wind up. Tank would when I want to say that Tank would wind up frustrated in this kind of a fight. I mean, it's what the corner tell him to do at that point, But Shakur is going to make it a frustrating fight. So, McLaughlin, when he's speaking, you can't disagree. But again, I'm gonna say this: do you really think that fight's going to happen?
No,
Nope.
no,
Nope.
no.
And to me, I don't know if you guys been picking up on it, but a lot of people now, because of Shakur's attitude in the past, they don't want to do no business with him, and
now
He don't bring in a lot of people either.
you know who said they would do business with him though,
Who-
regardless of his last fight?
who-
Bill Haney. Bill Haney said if Shakur want to do business, basically what Bill was saying is, if you go ahead and take this pay cut like we tried to get you to take the first time, we'll fight you tomorrow. Because Shakur's last performance, along with the fact that he don't got that many fights, he's not that big of a name, he can't try to come to the table and act like, he's Billy Badass. He's gonna have to take that pay cut, whether he fighting Tank or Devin, because they both have a bigger name than him, especially Tank. Tank is not even a question. But even Devin and Shakur need to take that 25 or 30% just to get in the ring and really prove himself to the fans.
All right, let me ask you that. We still on Shakur. All right. Spinning it a lot bit. Okay, Ryan Garcia, if he don't take the fight, Shakur says, I'll take the fight. I'll step in. So I'm saying at the same time, Shakur ain't that guy we seen in the last fight in his mind. That was just a young man going through some political crap. It was frustrating him, and he did what he did outlandishly. He never left the gym. He's never left practice, but here he's ready to fight Haney if Ryan Garcia don't want to fight him at the Barclay.
Mind you, on a short notice too.
On the short, that means he's been training.
That speaks volumes
And this
of
is
how
another
much
thing,
confidence he got.
This is another thing that people not picking up on. But when I heard Shakur say that he willing to step in for Ryan, I'm like, what the hell does Shakur know about Devin Haney? Because Shakur has never fought at 140 before.
Right. Yup.
135. Why would he be that confident?
I said the same thing, man.
I believe what he's selling. I'm be honest
Yeah.
with you. Like I picked Shakur to be Haney because they didn't spar all of those times.
Yeah,
There's
y'all
something that
exactly.
Shakur knows about Haney where he feels as though I could beat this man any day.
Shakur knows him for some, and then his dad, Shakur keeps saying, regardless of what you talking about, you know the real deal. He's saying that to Mister. You know the real
Yep,
deal.
I seen that too. And the way he talks so confident as if he's just going to step right
He
over
knows
Shakur.
something.
I mean,
Yep.
right over Devin Haney. So I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
is it like that?
Yeah,
Is
Is
it
it
he's
like
like
too
that?
confident to not to know
you
something.
know?
He's too confident not to know something about Devin Haney.
Yeah.
And Devin Haney
Yeah.
just avoids him, man.
Yeah.
20% to fight him. I don't care. Like
25%. But
that's
listen,
still
Marco, that's
crazy
not
though.
bad. That's not a bad
That's not bad. That's
uh,
not bad.
split because Devin Haney was undisputed. Shakur hadn't done nothing at 135.
Right.
Didn't really do much at 130.
Right.
So that's not really a bad split. Shakur was supposed to take that, fight him, and become the man.
Mm-hmm.
Shakur would have had all 4 belts off of one fight.
He would have.
Yeah,
Yep.
that
He
was
would have.
kind of. I think that was kind of stupid of Shakur.
It
If I
was.
was Shakur, I would have taken it.
Yes. It
Yeah,
was a very childish mistake he made. You're right, guys. It
yeah, I thought
was.
that was
I
a
feel
bad
like his
career decision.
ego. I feel like
Yep.
his ego got in the way a little
Ego
bit. You
did
know.
get in the way. Yep.
I
Yep.
always say it's because he saw what Terrence Crawford was able to do. You know, Terrence was
Yep.
a boy. He saw what Terrence was able to leverage 50-50 with Errol, even though Terrence really didn't deserve 50-50 when you look at the logistics, the numbers. And Shakur, he pretty much studied under Terrence Crawford. So he's like, I'm not taking 25%. I could get better. But what he doesn't understand is Terrence Crawford had already been undisputed. And Errol Spence wanted that damn fight so bad. Devin Haney, he wants to fight Shakur, but I don't think he was thirsty like Errol. Errol wanted to
Mm-hmm.
fight Terrence Crawford more than anything. That man, he gave up everything to make that fight happen. I don't think Devin is necessarily willing to do that. So it's
No.
just different dynamics.
No. Well, speaking of Earl, brought that up. He wants Terrence Crawford, man. Earl is
Still,
back. I'm like, okay.
still. I mean, Errol. When you look at the way he fights, Errol is stubborn. When Errol was fighting Terrence, one of the reasons why he got beat so bad is that he refused really to change up his strategy. I mean, even after getting
Kept trying to
dropped,
walk
even
him
after taking
down.
all of those shots, in his mind, he's like, "Look, I'm gonna walk this dude down, regardless of anything, regardless of what." And that's what made him really a champion. That's what allowed him to get them 3 belts. He's a stubborn guy, so I knew he wasn't going to be broken after that one loss. Um, it is what it is.
What it is. Yeah.
Do y'all think they're gonna rematch or like they're just gonna go their separate ways?
Go to separate ways.
Separate ways.
Terrence gonna
It
beat the
looks like
brakes
they're
off
going
his
to
ass
go.
again.
I
Terrence wants the
think
bigger
that
fights now. He
if
wants the money
But
fights.
if they
that's
don't fight
so.
again, it's going to be because Errol's team is going to be protecting Errol from himself.
Yeah.
But if it was up to Errol, they would have they would fight again. Terrence would be willing to rematch him as well. I think it's going to be Errol's team that keep him away from that because at the end of the day, if they can make a couple more big checks with Errol and preserve himself for maybe 3 more fights, that's what PBC going to do. It's not really wise for Errol with all of that damage on his body. Then he just got another eye surgery to go fight Terrence Crawford, who's probably still #1 pound for pound in the world.
Hey, Errol has to feel all that. Those surgeries, the car crash, he has to feel
Yeah,
it.
there's no way he
Yeah.
doesn't. I mean, he's a human being.
Do
Yeah.
you think he's on the performing enhancers? Because
Hell no. If Errol was on performance enhancers, he wouldn't have looked so damn bad against Crawford.
He would have
One
broke
of the reasons he
Crawford's
looked
face
bad,
if he
it
was
wasn't
on
just the
the
car crash.
Panthers.
It was the fact that he took 2 years off with no tune-up. He was never a guy that
And drinking. And drinking.
yeah, he's a guy that drinks parties and he blows up in weight. He takes
Yes.
2 years off while Terrence Crawford goes and fights a Venetian. As soon as Errol got off the scale, he literally said, the rematch got to be at 154. I can no longer make 147. If he was on performance enhancers, it wouldn't have mattered that he drained his body. He would have been able to push through. So he's a
That's
natural
right.
athlete.
Yeah, but was Earl what was Spence really as good as what we thought he was,
Yes,
or was?
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
But
Spence
yes,
is a
but
beast
yes,
no matter
but
what.
yes,
Don't
but
take
can
Spence
you?
is
nothing
a
from him.
beast.
Don't
It's
yes.
take
just
nothing
that
from Spence.
Terrence
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Crawford's different gravy, man.
What the
Terrence Crawford's just different
hell
gravy.
yeah.
Yeah, we ain't gonna take nothing from him, but we know that the accident played a very intricate part in his life, which is his physical. So, if he wants to come back and if they clear him again and they say he can box, then all bets off the table. We don't feel kumbaya for you no more, Earl. If you're listening, get out there and do your thing, baby. That's all we can say.
I mean, and plus, you can't take away from Errol because that's basically just you taking away from Crawford. To say, well, it was Errol really as good as we thought he was. Errol Spence had collected all 3 of the belts fighting. He didn't get He didn't get the belt off of one man. He went out and beat other champions, starting with Kell Brook and Errol
He went
Spence
to
was
London to fight Kell
I
Brook
think he was
too.
either the longest reigning welterweight or the second longest reigning welterweight behind Felix Trinidad. You don't just have a record like that and just be an average type of guy. He's one of the best in boxing. It's just that he ran into an even greater, probably one of the all-time greats in Terrence Crawford. Also, he ran into an excellent counterpuncher with power in both hands. So Errol's style was kind of tailor-made for Terrence. Errol lunging in and Terrence just taking a step back, countering. Like it is what it is. What's up, Geek Elite?
So should Earl just move up in weight to 154 or
Yes, I think
160?
he should go
He
to
went to
154.
160 if you're asking me.
160 wouldn't be smart. I mean, go up and wait to 154, see how you feel, see how you look, see if you still
Yeah,
want to do it.
he
I
got to
Because
feel
at
get
like
the
back
end
and
of
get a
the day,
couple
you
Errol
tune-up
Spence
fights.
has been
you
making money before Terrence Crawford. After the Terrence Crawford fight, the man is set. So does he still want a box?
yeah. He made at least more than 40 million in that fight.
He made 40 million against Crawford.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they both. I
sure.
think they both made at least 30 million apiece. That fight was huge. That fight
What the
wasn't a regular
fuck?
fight. Y'all
It
have to
got
Yeah, it was
understand
a
something. This is why Canelo is holding up boxing. Boxing, the
yep.
big pay-per-views, if you want to make money, you have to be fighting someone where the audience understands that there will be parity. The audience has to understand that both guys could potentially get hurt. Both guys could potentially get knocked out. So
Hmm.
Canelo, he hasn't done a million pay-per-view buys since like 2017. But
Versus
that's
Triple
because he's
G.
been fighting guys where the fans know, even though they love Canelo, they know that Canelo's most likely going to beat this guy. If he
Yeah.
fights David Benavidez, he's gonna do a million pay-per-view buys because now everybody, the world, gonna stop. Like, oh, I don't know if Canelo can make it through this one. That's what
I've
makes a big boxing event. When you have two,
I've
three champions, where you don't know what the hell is gonna happen. You don't know who. Somebody might get
mhm.
embarrassed. Somebody might get knocked out. That's what sells.
Can I ask you
I've
something?
never bought
Do
a
you,
pay-per-view in my life, but if Benavidez fights Canelo, I'll buy that.
would you
So
buy would you buy Caleb Plant and Charlo?
Me?
Yeah, people gonna buy that,
Yeah.
and they
I
just have to.
know.
Nah.
They,
I'm gonna use
listen,
those Russian links, man.
so so
listen,
look. Okay.
they have to remind people that Caleb Plant and Charlo should have fought faster. Charlo shouldn't have came back and fought Benavidez Jr. He should have fought Caleb Plant but now they're gonna have to remind people that Caleb Plant 5-finger discounting his ass. And the fight will sell off of that. Like the man slapped him in front of the world on the national stage. So casuals will be interested, but they taking too long to make the fight happen. So that fire is kind of cooling down now.
I pick
So
Caleb Plant over Charlo.
so let me ask you this: if Canelo rematch Bivol, do you think that would get a lot of pay-per-view buys because he whooped
Yeah.
Canelo last?
Not
Yeah,
as
that
many
would
as
do it.
Benavidez, but of course.
That would do
Nobody
a lot
wants
of
to
people.
see that
Nobody
though.
wants to see
Nobody wants to
that.
see that.
I mean, of course, Canelo gets stopped if they fight again, guaranteed. He could have stopped his
But
ass
you,
the first time. He just
but if you notice, guys, you
Canelo is
see how
destruct,
Canelo
and
is
I
moving
love that
smart in
man.
his last on his exit strategy. His
Yeah.
exit strategy is a strategy that he already had on paper. And
Yep.
much as we want him to do certain things, he had this already planned out how he wants to do this. So that's why he was wanting to fight the two brothers. He wanted to knock them off. The fights that we want to see, look how it's breaking off, and everybody got to move and change weight. Carnell, he's not trying to do that back and forth with the weights anymore. He's
Plus,
ready to go and move on. So we ain't gonna see that fight with them two. We're not gonna see it.
Canelo wants to leave out on a high note. That's all
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
And
That's
but a
all
He
it
lot of
is,
wants
people,
to
man.
be remembered as he wants. He doesn't want to go out like some fighters, like Klitschko. Klitschko went out on his shield. Klitschko
Yeah.
wanted to see, can I still beat that young lion? Am I still one of the best in the world at this? Am I still the top dog? Canelo don't want to see. Canelo already proved to himself like, oh, I was one of the best at some point. He's not still trying to prove any points. Like I mentioned this in the last live, but Ali, when he fought George Foreman, he was the underdog. He was an older age fighter, but Ali had that chip on his shoulder, and Ali had balls of steel. So that man was fighting even after he beats George Foreman. He ended up fighting until he was like 39 in fights that he shouldn't even have been. He should have been retired. So
Larry
Yes.
you got to
Holmes,
be
right?
really crazy to be in the sport of boxing. Canelo is a great fighter, but he's not really screw loose crazy. He wants to make a good fights, win those fights, and not really put his reputation on the line and go ahead
Right.
and retire, walk right off in the sunset.
And that's what a businessman does. He's a businessman.
Yeah.
And like I said on other podcasts, this man is invested in golf anyway. You're gonna
Yep.
see him on a golf tour. You're gonna see him.
Yep.
He can play a hell of a game of golf, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's frustrating though.
Check
What
this out.
Canelo's
He
doing.
doesn't want his son to box.
And but
He's
can
teaching
I
his
say
son.
something?
He's teaching his son golf. That's what he's teaching his son right now. Golf. He don't want his son near no boxing.
KG,
I
do you
wouldn't.
follow,
I
do you
mean, I
follow
wouldn't want
Canelo's Instagram?
my son
If you go
boxing
in his,
either. Like boxing is not a sport. If you rich like that, like really, really rich, boxing is not really a sport for you. I'm not saying if you like Ali was middle class. The only rich fighter that was really a dog, Azuma Nelson. Azuma Nelson was rich from Africa. But usually when somebody is, spoon fed, they have everything given to them. They don't really have the hunger to go in there and take punishment. So I understand Canelo not teaching his son boxing, but he says he will allow his son to try. He says that once
Right.
his son gets hit, he thinks his son is going to change up his tune about winning the box.
Mike Tyson said the same thing about his son.
Right.
yeah, if you're not poor, you're not gonna have
And check this
the
out. George Foreman said this long time ago about all his sons.
yeah.
Hey,
If you're
Joe
rich,
Frazier let his
it's
son
different.
box, and it wasn't necessarily a good experiment. So
Nope.
Julio Cesar Chavez's son, he wasn't really good. Chavez Jr.
Yeah,
he was all
Yeah.
right though. He was
yeah.
all right. I mean, he wasn't going to fill the most of the time. If your father is a legend in the sport, you're not going to fill his shoes.
Vargas though.
But
Vargas.
Chavez Jr. was all right. I mean, for actually getting out there trying to do it.
I mean, he got beat by an MMA fighter, right? Anderson Silva.
Yeah, and he was like 60 or about Anderson Silva was like 55.
That's embarrassing.
That was
I
crazy.
MMA
mean,
guy.
but Tyson Fury got beat by an MMA fighter. Well, this is the thing about those MMA fighters, man. Or the legends, not just the average run-of-the-mill MMA fighters.
Mhm.
MMA is stand-up anyway. It's like 60 or 70% stand-up anyway. So if you're a legend in MMA, you probably could beat a really good boxer. For instance, Ngannou didn't beat a really good boxer. He beat a really great boxer, and he just got robbed on the scorecards. So saying Chavez Jr. lost to an MMA fighter, Anderson Silva has all type of experience under the lights.
Oh yeah,
Throwing
Anderson Silva is one
Anderson
of the
Silva
greatest
was one of the
strikers of all
best
time.
boxers in MMA. He
And
was
if
doing moves like Muhammad Ali. You can go watch
Mhm.
highlights of it. So that's not just a small statement like, oh, he lost to Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva one of the best to ever do MMA. And he was one of the best boxers in MMA.
and before MMA come out, you had a Tony Arnuki who had fought Muhammad Ali, and you can go back and look it up on YouTube, and you
Is that
tell me
wrestling match?
you tell me who won that fight.
You talking about, but that was different because he was kicking Ali legs and stuff.
Did you see the pictures after that,
It
bro?
didn't matter. Before MMA, that kind of style I'm just trying to say the logistics of it. Ali brought that out and brought those two type of styles
Oh
in.
yeah.
Right, that's all I'm saying.
Oh,
Right.
basically what you're saying is Ali was a pioneer. All this
Yeah.
MMA cross sport stuff,
Yes.
Ali pretty much
Mhm.
initiated that.
Yes, he
That's
did.
true.
He
That's
was a
true. If you
pioneer
really
in
think
more ways
about
than
it.
one. Like the man, it's a legend that Ali started rapping because he used to go out and freestyle against
Yes, he
fans in
did.
the
Yes, he
crowd
did.
and stuff. Ali was very special as a human being.
KJ,
What's
who's your
up?
top 5 greatest fighters of all time?
Top 5?
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore.
Um, Floyd,
One?
Sugar Ray Robinson.
You got to
Yeah.
put Jake Paul on there, bro.
What's my
Don't
Sam
even mention that
Langford,
clown.
Roberto Duran,
Uh-huh.
and the fifth one. Damn,
Ray Robinson.
I already said Sugar Ray Robinson.
Muhammad Ali? Did you say?
No, the fifth one. I had did it before, but I really don't know. I can't think of it right now. It's a lot of people that could fill that fifth spot.
Marvin Hagler.
Pernell Whitaker.
Man, you gotta put Pernell Whitaker in there, man.
I wouldn't put
Pernell
in my top
Whitaker.
5.
Barrera.
I'll put him in my top 10, but not my top 5.
So let's all be transparent. Did Pernell
Leonard?
beat
How about
Oscar
Leonard?
De La Hoya?
What?
Did Pernell beat Oscar De La Hoya?
Yeah, man. Come on.
Yeah,
That's not.
Oh
Pernell
yeah,
but
yeah.
the thing is, boxing was ready to move on from Pernell. Pernell was like 34. Oscar was young. So they were ready to move on from Pernell. And
All
then
right,
Pernell
Roy Jones.
wasn't
Roy
doing
Jones.
abusing his body because Pernell was doing drugs. Like
Oh yeah.
remember what David Benavidez got
Roy
caught doing with
Jones.
his nose? If Pernell wasn't abusing his body, he would have beat Oscar even more convincingly.
Roy Jones.
And he beat Chavez as well, man.
We all know he beat Chavez.
I think
Chavez Senior?
Be on that
He
five.
won both
he
of those
stepped
fights.
on that was bad.
Would
He
Roy
made
Jones
Chavez
be
look
on
like he
that
wasn't a Hall
five?
of Fame fighter.
Would Roy Jones be on your 5?
No, Roy Jones, he
It
got
be in
caught
your
using
10?
that stuff. He got caught using that stuff, so I couldn't put him. But if Roy Jones wasn't caught on using anything, and he retired after that heavyweight fight, you had to put him like people had to talk about him as being the greatest because he went
Okay.
from middleweight to heavyweight. But since he got caught, with those excess testosterone levels and stuff like that, I can't really put him in a real debate about one of the greatest fighters of all time. I can
Did
still
you?
recognize what he did was great. Like guys like Canelo, who's failed the clenbuterol test, I recognize that they're all time greats. When we start making a list, I got to be fair. Like Pacquiao, not my top 10. Canelo wouldn't be, and Roy wouldn't be, because all of them, there's been evidence that they was on that stuff. So it's like I can't really put you there, but I still recognize their greatness as fighters.
All right, all right. This is just a question, but in Mexico they have a lot of the what is it, cambuterol?
They say the meat, yeah, but
Yeah, in the meat.
Canelo's levels was higher than if you would have just ingested the meat. So well, and he failed more than
Oh,
once. The only reason why Canelo got to get away with that is because money talks and bullshit runs a marathon. At the end of the day, Canelo was their cash cow. They
Yeah,
weren't going to
like
kick him out of the sport.
there was no rule. There was no world. They was gonna be like, yeah, Canelo, you're suspended or something.
Let me
What?
tell
No
y'all how great
way.
boxing is, man. Your boy, what's his name that fought Cotto, who had the
Margarito.
Margarito, who had cement in his gloves. Margarito should have been tried for attempted murder. He had cement in
He
his
sure
gloves while
did.
boxing. But instead of him actually being tried and sentenced, they just gave him his license back after like a year and a half or 2 years. So that's how dirty he should have at least been. If he's not going to be tried criminally, he should have been banned for life from boxing. And boxing isn't about morals; it's about money. So it's money over morals when it comes to boxing.
It's fucked up. But did you put Lennox Lewis on your Mount Rushmore?
No.
Uh,
Heavyweight, yes, but not all time. Like the top five, I'm talking about pound for pound because we know boxing is pound for pound. I'm talking about when I look at it, I look at skill level, championships, IQ, all that speed, athleticism. Like the dudes that I named, they had pretty much everything. But I forgot who I put on that fifth spot before. So I don't know. I
so
can't. But
let,
it's
let me
Rodney record.
let me ask you this: should Rocky Marciano have been a heavyweight or considered a heavyweight? Because he was
Rocky
only
Marciano
180
fought
pounds.
during the time where there were a lot of undersized heavyweights. So he was fighting guys. He fought the only real heavyweight, like real size heavyweight that was like that he beat was an aged Joe Louis who was forced back into boxing because he was broke because the U.S. government stabbed him in the back. But everybody else that Rocky fought, they were undersized as well, and they were even smaller than him. Ezra Charles, one of the greatest middleweights and light heavyweights of all time, he was blackballed from getting a title shot. You know what I mean? So guys like Sugar Ray Robinson get to be remembered for being great because they gave him the mob who controlled boxing. They gave Robinson a chance to actually hold the title. Ezra Charles probably would have knocked Ray Robinson out because he was a naturally larger man and he was just as knowledgeable about the sport. He goes on a light heavyweight and dominates, but still doesn't get a title shot. He has to balloon all the way up to heavyweight and go fight a Rocky Marciano who's naturally bigger than him, while both of them still being undersized for heavyweights. But what I'm saying is, during that time period, a lot of the top heavyweights were undersized. So Rocky should be recognized for what he did in his time period. Will Rocky be able to compete today? He would have to
God
be.
no.
They're too big. He would have to be cruiserweight. But at cruiserweight, he'd be a hell of a force because Rocky Marciano had the most intense regimen of all time, even more intense than Floyd Mayweather's. I don't know how he did it, but he had one of the most, and that's why at 33 years old he had to hang it up. He had back problems. He couldn't do it no more.
KG, who's your top 5 right now, fighters? Like in today.
Terrence Crawford, #1, pound for pound.
All right.
Neil, anyway, you have to put him in there because of
Yeah.
what he's somewhere in there. I'm not gonna put him at #2. I still got to put respect on Canelo's name. Canelo has one of the best resumes in boxing, even though at the end he's been bullshitting. Um, what's that damn it? I used to be able to say Tyson Fury, but I can't even do the Tyson Fury thing no more because of what he did against Ngannou.
Usyk.
Nope, I can't put Usyk. If Usyk beat Fury, he in the top 5. Somebody says Bertabiev has to be in there. You can
Usyk
put
lost to
Bertabiev in there, but
Dubois.
Bertabiev only fought in one weight class. You got guys like Terrence, Canelo, and anyway, they've gone up in multiple weight classes. That's what boxing really is about when you say pound for pound. It means at any weight division, you the baddest man on the planet.
And
Somebody said Dubai got yeah, and that's another thing about the Usyk and Fury. They both lost fights and they got gift decisions. Daniel Dubois hit Usyk with a body shot. Usyk was done. Tyson Fury lost an MMA fight. Like I can't have them in the top five. But if Usyk beats Tyson and becomes the first undisputed heavyweight champion or whatever, I have to put him in the top five because of the resume. I can't. No, I can't put Tank in the top five because Tank's competition hasn't been the top. The reason Terrence Crawford is number one pound for pound to me, that man beat one of the best. He literally beat one of the best in Errol Spence Jr. He didn't beat him; he demolished him. That was the greatest performance with two great fighters that you're gonna see. It doesn't really get any better than that. Tank hasn't fought another A class fighter. He's about to fight Frank Martin. We don't know what Frank Martin is. And the crazy part is, if Frank Martin would have beat Tank, that would catapult Frank into being an A class fighter. Because when you look at athletically, Frank has it all. But Frank Martin is a guy that got a late start. So he hasn't really fought top dudes yet either. So this fight is going to be crazy for both. We're going to find out some shit. We're about to find out some shit with this Tank and this Frank fight. But to say if Tank would have already knocked out Shakur and Devin, he would have to be top five. Matter of fact, you would put Tank at, if you would beat Shakur and Devin, you had to put him at number one. You know why? Because not only has he beat other great fighters, but Tank Davis has a higher pay-per-view gate out of everybody that I had in the top five. Like Tank's pay-per-view gate doesn't compare to Terrence Crawford. It's well above Terrence. It's well above Haney's. It's well above anybody. He made history when he fought Ryan Garcia. So if he beats these top guys, he's number one pound for pound for a short time. Cause I think Tank is going to retire in a couple of years.
Well, what if Ryan Garcia? I'm just asking. What if he beats Devin? Where do you put him?
Oh, he not in no damn. No, Ryan not even top 10. I said, bro, Ryan's skills and IQ is far behind a lot of the guys in his own weight class. But if he beat Devin Haney, it's gonna be great for Ryan. Uh, Literally, if he beat Devin Haney, not only would it be great for Ryan, it would be great for boxing. Now they about to have a rematch, and now we talking about one of the biggest fights in boxing because controversy creates chaos. Ryan has no business beating Devin Haney. So that means the
literally,
puncher's chance that he has, the 5% chance that he has, for that to come to light, that's going to bring so much eyes to boxing because Ryan Garcia is more popular than Haney. The public actually wants Ryan to win. The public wanted Ryan to beat Tank. The public wants Ryan to beat Devin. They want Ryan to be one of the best in the world because they like who he is. They think he looks good. He's more marketable. The European market, they love Ryan. Ryan has deals with Gucci and Louis and all those big companies. They want him to be a better boxer than what he actually is. So if he knocks out Haney,
hmm
then shit, I mean, so many eyes are going to be back on boxing and the
can I say
rematch is going to
something?
be big as hell. It's going to be crazy.
Ryan Garcia had a tweet that had like 45 million views.
What it
Wow.
say?
It's just him, when he was going crazy and doing all
Oh
that stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He was no. I'm saying Ryan Garcia is huge, bro.
Yeah,
Mm,
and they're actually trying to slow down his reach now. I seen the other day he went live and they were taking down his views, and you could see it in real time. And that just shows you how much this social media shit is controlled. So they could make you be a star, they could make you be popular. But I think Ryan, they were pushing him as a star, but he's also naturally charismatic. So it's like a double
hmm
whammy.
You see,
For
like,
example, before the Devin Haney controversy was happening, when he was going like saying all this crazy stuff, he had like 300K followers on Twitter. Now he has like almost 1 million. He's
The
going
thing also,
insane.
guys, keep in mind when you start pushing religious belief on that level, it becomes a spiritual warfare,
Yeah.
good and evil, because good and evil exist at the top too on every level, even on our
Yep.
level. But it's
Yep.
money power that's evil, and those people on that negative side wins the ball game. So you kind of seeing those numbers drop like that. Those was big investors and friends of friends of friends dropping. We don't even know their names, but you'd be surprised who was dropping off his lies. You see what I'm saying? So he
Exactly.
went up there talking religion when his trainer and all of them saying he should have been talking about boxing and getting ready for Haney. You keep your
Right.
religious, you keep your beliefs outside. Ali did it great. We knew his beliefs, but he kept that on the political side when it came time to talk about that. But when it came ready for a fight, Ali wasn't talking about Islam.
Man, I would have to say. I disagree with the take about Ali. Ali was saying all type of craziness. Um, the thing about it during Ali's time, the media had less control. Right now, they could just Ryan could start talking religion, and the people who run stuff they could just start lowering his viewership. When Ali was around, it wasn't even social media,
But
so Ali was going on national television saying stuff like uh, "bluebirds and redbirds should stay with their own kind." Ali called the white man the devil on national television. Like
right, but
Ali was saying things about how women should live, how men and women should relate to each other,
but
all of
listen,
that good,
but
all that
listen,
good
but
stuff.
listen, but listen,
But
but
the
listen
powers that be had
intellectually.
less
But
control in that time.
intellectually, his storyline, he kept loyal to it to the end, and the world still said his name. You
Yeah,
feel me? He threw the gold medal.
I would
He
have
threw
to
the gold
disagree.
medal. He threw the gold medal in the river.
Right.
He threw it in there.
Yep.
So Ryan and him, I'm comparing how you do things, Ryan, if you're listening. It's how you do it. This
Yeah.
wasn't the time. We should stick on Devin Haney, focus on that, and let's move on.
Yeah, and well, I would have to disagree with Ali sticking to the script. When Ali got in money problems and he had to sell his name, and when the Nation of Islam started to kind of dissolve or change leadership, I think Elijah Muhammad had died or whatever. Ali, he was a lot less militant. He started to say things like, he loved everybody. He was kissing white babies and stuff. So Ali had to change his tune because he had to survive. He had to continue to make money. The thing is this: Ali was at Hugh Hefner's mansion. Ali seen a lot of shit behind the scenes, but he never spoke on that type of stuff.
And let
Ryan
me
Garcia
correct.
is
Let me
talking
stand to be
about
corrected. Hold on.
people.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad spoke. That's what I'm trying to say. Who's ever at the top is the leader. He spoke and told Muhammad cut himself loose, like he told Malcolm. Malcolm didn't listen.
Right.
Let's keep because Ali and Malcolm was great friends. They used to spend time with each other at their homes with their children.
Right.
Ali listened. When he told Ali to get off the media, you see Ali on the media for a while. Ali was getting permission to speak his views from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. What I'm saying, Ryan broke code. Whoever his leaders were, he broke the code.
Yeah, and that's what I was going into. When you look at the subject topic, what Ryan is talking about, Ali's seen a lot of stuff behind the scenes in that world. He has never gone out and went after people who attack children and stuff like that. What Ryan is talking about is stuff that you don't really see celebrities coming out and saying. So it's really no way that Ryan gonna make it out of this. Whether he beat Devin Haney or have a good boxing career, I promise you, them people that got that money, they're gonna make him pay in one way, form, or fashion. So
Hey,
Ryan got a lot of courage,
But
but they're not gonna let him just walk away unscathed.
has anyone seen that recent video of Ryan Garcia sparring?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, yeah. He don't look too good, man.
He don't.
Who
He
was he
don't. Champ.
sparring? I
Champ.
didn't see that.
Champ.
Who was he sparring?
Uh,
No, he was in the warehouse. Literally, if you take your finger and blow the video up, his coach is in the corner with his head down in disgust. Like
Oh no,
what?
that's a shadow boxing. That's not sparring.
no. This is sparring. Sparring.
Okay, y'all talking about two different
Oh,
videos. Kev, I
my
know
bad.
exactly
My
what you're
bad. My
talking
bad.
about.
My bad. My bad.
No, but that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm gonna touch on that, then I'm gonna let Jeremiah talk about that sparring. Now, in that video, is two things that could have been happening. Either Ryan was in there playing and not listening to Derrick James, and Derrick James is pissed off, like, man, what the hell I get myself into? Kind of like how Joe Bootson used to have that same flummoxed look. Or Ryan Garcia is doing something that he's very good at, trolling the media. You know what I
His
mean? Trying to
coach.
act like
His
he's in there
coach
forcing, but
made a
really great.
statement. His coach made a statement, and y'all can go read the statement. Quote: "I'm getting paid very well, but this ain't the way I run the camp."
Oh, okay. So now that kind of solidifies Ryan probably wasn't joking in that. He was doing slow motion shadow boxing, and Derrick James
Now
was looking like
the statement matches up to the coach's face. If you go back to the
exactly,
video,
exactly. Now, Jeremiah, what's up with that sparring, man? Who was Ryan sparring, and how did he look?
Nah. He don't look good. He was crossing his feet. What you call it? He was smothering himself. Like
Hey,
he's still
but
dropping his hand when he throws that
sparring
hook.
doesn't mean nothing, man. They put too much emphasis on sparring. You have
yeah,
people they call gym rats.
Yeah, but
So there,
sparring gets you
there
ready
was a
for the
guy
fight.
called
And he was
I think
sparring
his name was
some dude. I
Big
don't know his name
Cadillac
though.
Green. And because I trained with him, I'm from Newark. I trained with him, and he used to beat everybody in the gym. But when he got in the ring, he used to get knocked out. So sparring doesn't mean nothing.
It's a difference between sparring in the gym and getting in front of those lights. Like
Yeah.
when you get in front of the lights, a lot of it comes down to the mental. It comes down to your confidence. A lot of guys they confident when nobody really watching, but when they get in front of them lights, especially on the pay per views and shit, man, they like, damn, people at home watching me. That get inside people's head. We were talking about that in the last live. So Lucio Norris is 110% correct, and you got some guys who they don't even go hard in sparring because number one, in sparring you're working on weaknesses, but number two, some dudes they just don't be feeling like sparring on that day. So guess what? They'll let you up there. They really just want to get home for whatever reason. Not every guy is tuned in to the max every single day. But
And,
what it really comes
and
down to is, are you tuned into the max under them lights? You know, when it's ready to get in front of that crowd, what you gonna do?
and then another thing about sparring that people don't realize, a lot of times they don't spar at 15 different people. So it
Yeah,
depends on when you catch
they
them
tired. You
on
could catch
what
them
you're
when they
going to get.
tired. Hey, FG says sparring. Come on, man. We talking about sparring, not a match. That's a play off the Allen Iverson practice quote right there. That was
Right.
pretty funny. Oh shit.
Do y'all think it's anything Devin Haney can do personally to like make him likable now? Because it's like
Shut
I
his
think
mouth.
it's too far gone.
Make his father shut the hell up and let him talk.
Exactly.
Hey,
Literally,
whose dad is worse, Benavidez' dad or Devin Haney's dad?
I'm not gonna lie. They're about the same. They're about the same
All of
for
them
me.
daddies,
They're about the
if
same for
y'all
me.
hear me, shut up and let y'all sons talk. We want to hear them talk.
What?
I think that sometimes they allow the dad. Devin Haney, at the end of the day, he's not a guy that speaks and everybody gonna feel some type of emotion, whether it's good or bad. When Bill Haney speaks, people get mad, and when people mad, guess what? Even though they claim that they hate it, they come back each and every time. So Bill, what he's doing is actually just marketing. It's negative marketing. Devin Haney was supposed to play the villain role like Floyd, but Devin don't got it like that. Charismatically, he can't convince people that he's a real villain, even though he can fight his ass off. So Bill Haney, he kind of subs in as a lesser version of that by saying things that piss people off.
But the thing is, the arguments are repetitious, or we got the point. All right, now let's fight. He's doing more talking like the rest of them. He claimed they talking, then they claim
He said,
he
"I'm
talking.
rolling some tank up."
All of y'all talking. Y'all daddy shut up. Let the promoters and the managers do what they got to do, and your daddy sit down and get paid. Be
I
quiet.
think.
Wait, let me finish. Because Mr. Haney, if you're listening to me, you don't even train your son. So be quiet.
I think, in
Who
all
is Devin Haney
honesty,
trainer?
they had a set like the whole Haney team had a sit down and was like, "Yeah, Haney, you don't really got no personality, so I think we just gotta let Pop talk, cause
I don't
it's
think that
been
they
going on for that long. It gotta be they
I
just
don't
gotta
think
let
they
him do
sat
it."
down and said that. I think it just happened naturally. Like Bill Haney is Devin's father. Bill Haney, his job isn't to tell Devin pretty much, look, son, you never gonna be charismatic. No, his job pretty much is to fill in the holes that Devin has, and he's been doing that.
Yeah.
Anything that he thinks that any weakness that he sees in Devin, he'll try to correct it or he'll try to fill in and pretty much be there and guide him. For example, when Devin Haney was developing as an amateur and when he first went pro, Bill Haney made sure that he went across the country to spar some of the big names, so Devin could already get used to fighting these guys, so he wouldn't have any fear when he saw these dudes as a pro. So that's been Bill Haney's job, pretty much as a guider, as a teacher, because he could see the flaws that Devin has. And like Kevin was saying earlier, the way that Shakur Stevenson was talking to Bill, Shakur was like, "Look, you know what's up." Bill Haney does know that Shakur Stevenson probably could beat Devin, but he never gonna sit down and say, "Yeah, Devin, I think Shakur got the number." He gonna do what he's supposed to do as a father and stand by his son, and he's
Because if
gonna
Bill,
try his best to convince Devin that that's not true. But deep down, he can see all of Devin's flaws because he's been there watching him since he was a baby.
so
Hey, KG, you think
Bill said
Devin
out of
has
his
power
mouth,
at 140?
Shakur, you'll never see a fight from us. So Bill said, don't even come this way no more. Good luck down the road. They went down their separate roads on the media.
Well, the other day on Cam and May show, it is what it is. Bill said that he'll still do business with Shakur pretty much as long as Shakur take that pay cut. And Jeremiah, I think Devin Haney does have really good power at 140. I think he was draining himself at lightweight, but at 140, the power looks different. What he was doing to Regis, if Devin Haney wanted to, he could have stopped Regis. but
Yeah, I
Devin
think
is a
so.
very
I think so
careful,
too.
methodical fighter.
I think if you would have went after Regis, he could have stopped him. But
Yeah.
now he was holding back.
I mean, I think that Devin should go after Ryan, but that's dangerous. People think because of what Tank Davis is one of the best fighters in the world. That's what people get. They get it twisted. Tank is one of the best fighters in the world, and he's one of the hardest hitters in the world. So we have a Sugar Ray Robinson dynamic when it comes to Tank Davis. So Ryan got stopped by Tank. Whoop de do. But Ryan is dangerous. Ryan hits because of Ryan is a naturally larger man than Tank. With one punch, Ryan hits harder than Tank. It took Ryan got Francisco Fonseca out of there in one round. It took Tank 8 rounds. So if Devin Haney tries to make it an exciting fight and get more fans, he's putting himself at risk to get knocked out. So I don't think it's going to be a very, very necessarily exciting fight between him and Devin. I think Devin going to do what he does, which is stick to the game plan and box. Because if you try to take those risks with Ryan and you're not really there to bang, and you don't have the punch resistance of a Tank Davis. People don't understand Tank Davis is like Triple G. Y'all just don't give him the credit for that. That man walked through shots. I don't think
Yes,
that's
he
Devin Haney.
does.
I don't think that's Devin Haney. So if Devin don't play it safe, he could potentially get knocked out. And he knows that. So he's going to box. He's going to box.
That's
He's
what
a
I
much
see
better
too.
boxer than Ryan.
It's not going to be the fight. It's not going to be the fight that we think. Oh, that
Yeah,
rah.
it's not. No, it's going to be a
It's not
boxing.
going to be that, man. It's going to be a very scientific. Haney going to bring science to the game.
Yep.
He going to bring science,
Just
man. He
like
going to stick
Ryan
to the
Shakur.
needs
game.
Ryan
That's why
Garcia
we
needs to
don't like
pressure him.
Shakur. Shakur
Right.
knows
Ryan going to have to bring the heat. Ryan got the one to bring the heat because Haney the one got the belt. So
Yep. And Haney the one that
Ryan
got
gonna have to
the
pressure him
boxing
and cut
style.
off the ring good.
there you go. There you go. Pressure and cut the ring off. But he still keep dropping his hand. I don't know why Ryan. They don't. Maybe he don't want anybody to correct that. But I see Haney touching that side.
Look, all I know is this. If Ryan said this, and I'm gonna do a video on it, but he said this to Charlamagne. He said Devin Haney can't hurt me. He said Devin pillow fisted, he can't hurt me. If that's true, then Ryan gonna give him a run for his money. One thing that we do know is Ryan stepped to Tank Davis. Right in the second round, he stepped right to Tank Davis with no fear. And I don't know
He
if Devin
actually
has
was in
the
the fight.
counter ability, even though at 140 he looks like he has more pop. I don't know if he got the counter ability to really stop Ryan. I think he can outbox him all day.
He's got a
So
nice
it's
jab.
gonna be an exciting fight, but it's not gonna be no war. Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson, they want to be bigger pay-per-view stars. They need to take more risks. Tank Davis, that man takes all type of risks. He's an action junkie. He puts himself in positions where multiple fights he could have been knocked out, but instead he knocks the opponent out and makes it an exciting fight. That's why he's the pay-per-view star that he is.
Yeah, like versus Santa Cruz. He was letting Santa Cruz hit him with like those 3 right hands and he knocked him out.
Santa Cruz is an overrated fight because Santa Cruz was coming up in weight. He's a
What was it,
smaller
like
man than Tank.
126
But
or something?
a fight where Tank was letting himself get hit, Barrios, that's one of his best performances. Barrios is bigger than Tank. Tank went on the inside, took some big shots, and still got the stoppage. You know what I mean? It's like fights like that, you don't really see guys really doing that. But Tank is a smaller fighter. He was put in a position where he had no choice, and he did exactly what he had to do. So that man
And,
mentally Tank is on a different level. He don't get credit for none of these things, none of these assets because he hit so hard. Everybody wants to focus on the power.
and he even stopped him with a body shot. One,
Yeah, right to the liver. And then the crazy thing is, it was only a matter of time. Barrios touched the canvas 3 times in that fight. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Barrio was tough, man.
People want to talk about being weight drained. Like, bro, y'all fought at 140. You had a whole night to rehydrate yourself. But it wasn't that. Now the Garcia fight, Ryan was weight drained, but guess what? When you look at the skill level, it wasn't close anyway. I don't know why I think weight drained him. I think to give himself an easier time, him being an A side, he did what you could do as an A side. But Ryan signed the contract.
Oh, by the way, Barrios actually came out and said he did have a rehydration clause.
Yeah, he did. That's what I said. But I said that I don't want to hear it because it was at 140.
Oh,
You
I
got
see
the
what
same
you're
You
saying.
guys know they working on that. They're working on banning that rehydration bull crap. It's gonna go back to old school.
I hope they do.
Old school.
Old
I
school.
mean, if they do, it is what it is. I mean, Floyd Mayweather allowed Canelo Alvarez to rehydrate to almost 170 pounds, and he made Canelo look like nothing. So if you really like that, you got to be like that. You know what I mean? When Tank fights Devin's not going to agree to a rehydration clause. So him putting Barrios and Ryan under the rehydration clause, that doesn't really prepare him for the final boss. That
My
doesn't
point
prepare
is,
him
my
for
point
the
is
things ahead.
is there a rehydration clause in Tank's fight coming up?
I don't know. I don't think so though.
That's my
Because think
point.
about it.
They
Frank
getting
Martin and
away.
Tank, they're around
They
the same
getting
time
away from
anyway.
that. You're gonna have to fight these weights, man, to be these guys, and all this money they're giving out to these fighters now, man. They're getting a lot of money. Their
Yeah.
revenues are going up, man, and they're gonna make these guys earn their keep, man. And you, like you're saying, the guys behind the scenes even getting paid. And guys in the gym you don't see, the real sparring guys, them guys getting paid in there. Some of them guys make
Yep.
350,000 a year, man.
They
Hmm.
might go away from
Damn.
it, but they'll come back because there's gonna be a lot of injuries. Because the thing about it, reason why they went to it, because you had guys coming in fighting at 140, and by the time they got in the ring, they weighing almost 200 pounds.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's the
Yeah,
thing.
and,
I mean,
and, and
that's an exaggeration, but yeah, they come to the ring big as hell. But we show Norris. The thing is this: if you can make the weight, you good. So what does that mean? They're going to be weight bullies. But if you're a truly great boxer, you could beat a weight bully. We saw, like I said, Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather came in a fight around 152 or 154. Canelo was pushing 170. Canelo's a naturally larger man. Floyd made him look like nothing.
But see,
Uh,
yeah, and the same thing
Biggest
with
boxer,
Pacquiao and Margarito. You know,
well,
Margarito was
well,
like
Tank,
170 that night.
there's a lot of things that people underestimate about Tank and Mayweather. They study those fighters before they fight them, and they watch what the mistakes they make.
not
Especially
only that, but they
Tank
study
is waiting for
boxing.
them to make that mistake so he can land that big punch on him. He'll take a
Not,
punch in order to land that punch that he knows is gonna knock that guy out.
exactly. And he's a beast at it. Terrence Crawford is another guy. But not only do they study the fighter, but they study boxing in general. Tank Davis said the way that he prepared for Mario Barrios, or one of the things that helped him against Mario Barrios, is the fact that he watched how Floyd fought Logan Paul. People don't understand. Floyd was like 44 years old, fighting a man way bigger than fighting a man 200 pounds. Floyd came in around, close to 160, and he actually knocked Logan out during that fight and held him up. But Tank saw how Floyd was able to get on the inside, how he did his counters and stuff, how he took his time and got within range against a much larger man. Tank said that himself, that the Logan Paul fight showed him how to fight a bigger fighter. So these are guys who are students of the game. If you go back and
Right.
watch Floyd sparring at the end of his career when he was preparing, I believe it was for Berto, but when he was doing those big media days because he was pretty much done with the sport, Tank Davis is right in there watching Floyd's every move. Like that man is a student of the game. Because Tank isn't a great orator, he's not a fast talker. People discredit his brain. He is a boxing genius. You know what I mean? Like Tank Davis knows exactly what he's doing when he steps in the ring. He just can't really vocalize it.
Right.
But yeah, that man,
But
he like
I just want to, try to lose my thought. I got a two-edged sword on my statements. A part side to that. I don't like the clause, the hydration clause, because you can maneuver and manipulate that. Even the sky, there's so many tricks to this game, champ. And
yeah,
we got to fight on his phone. I got to respect him as a coach. I got to respect my fighter, that he knows what you're saying is true. It was games back then with the weight, and it's still games with it now. But
yeah,
when Ryan went into that ring, I just didn't see a strong Ryan either. I just up against Tank. I just didn't see that as a coach. But again, this is my other side of that sword. But my man, don't we all get on me to say, and my team, we gonna sit down and talk about it. So when the contract signed, all that stuff is there. Everybody agree with it. So host, I agree with you. When you get in that ring, you're supposed to go in there and do your thing. That's the other
yeah.
side of my sword.
And Kefa, I'm gonna say this as well.
Mm.
Ryan got paid $40 million
Thank you.
to be dehydrated.
Thank
So
you.
if you knew he was gonna dehydrate you, guess what?
Right.
Like if I was in Ryan's position, I knew, okay, I'm about to be dehydrated. Do you know I would have been starving my body for that month? Because guess what? We're gonna get used to being 135. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not coming to play. I'm coming to win. I'm not coming to say, well, I was dehydrated. I already knew the game. It's not like
Right.
Tank gave him a 10-day notice. Pitbull Cruz was put on a late notice. Ryan knew the game. He got paid $40 million to be dehydrated, and he cried about it. It makes no sense. Ryan knew the game. He got paid $40 million to be dehydrated, and he cried about it. Your mic is messed up.
That's not me, I don't think.
No, it was Jeremiah's. I just
Good
muted
point.
it.
Good
Oh,
point.
But yeah,
So
basically,
it has its pros and cons when it comes to the big fights, and it's just those, like the NFL. We get hyped up, and it's always the game, the cons and the pros and the cons in it. All
yeah,
our sports, NBA, there's the pros and the cons in it.
there's no
Boxing,
sport. There's no sport where it's going to be even, Steven. Somebody's going to have an
nah,
advantage. That's just what it
nah.
is.
what it is, because they signed contracts.
Yep.
KJ, I'm kind of non-confident in the fight with Rolly and Pitbull because I feel like about it being action packed because I feel like Rolly's gonna get hit by Pitbull and he's gonna get on his bicycle like he did against Barroso.
Look, there is no
Remember?
bicycle against Pitbull. Go ask Tank Davis. You got to box that man for 12. Ain't no bicycle. That's a pressure fighter. Pitbull, his name, that's a perfect name because that's what he is when you get him. He really is a Pitbull. He coming at you for 12 rounds
How
without
much bigger?
solo blows. There's
How
no
much
running.
bigger is Rolly than Pitbull though? Because in Pitbull's last fight against Cabrera, I think it was, he was hitting him flush, and it looked like it had no effect to him.
No, Cabrera, listen, I watched that fight. Cabrera, he the one that looked like Keanu Reeves. Cabrera, he just could take punches. Like just because look, Sugar Ray Robinson beat on Jake LaMotta for as long as they would allow him to. You know what I mean? Some guys just have a high punch resistance. You can't knock everybody out. Plus, as you said, Pitbull is a smaller fighter. At the end of the day, Pitbull about to put some serious heat on Rolly Romero, and Rolly has to deal with it. Also, look at how Rolly reacted to Ismael Barroso. So Rolly isn't a guy with a steel chin. Rolly is a guy that he's a little bit chinny. So people
There you go,
look,
Chad.
this is gonna be a
That,
war.
And Rolly's
and
been
that's
knocked
what I'm
out.
saying.
And
That's why
Rolly's been knocked out in
Rolly
sparring.
learned from the Tank fight. He's not going to fight on the inside. Rolly going to stick, move, and turn. Because Rolly good. Rolly got good footwork. Rolly will move. Rolly will
No,
fight you on the line, but Rolly's not going to run up in there like he did with Tank. He's not going to do that. He learned from that fight.
look, I don't think Rolly got the box. Tank Davis was hurt in the fight with Pitbull. Pitbull put so much pressure on Tank. Tank got some of the best feet in boxing. There were moments where Tank was forced to trade with Pitbull. He was
What I'm
forced to
trying to
trade
tell
with.
you, Rolly is not going to exchange with him.
Like, he's not going to win the fight then. There's no way. There's no way to beat Pitbull without exchange. There is no way. It's
He
like
ain't
that
gonna
with
stand.
Joe Frazier.
Rolly can't stand on the line with that man and bang with him. That ain't gonna happen.
Well, so, but you think he can outbox him and run for 12 rounds? That's not going to happen either.
Wait a minute. If you guys on the upper level listening, who's the promoter of this show?
PBC.
It
I mean,
is.
who's promoting it?
Isn't De La Hoya no De La Hoya is he's not promoting that.
No,
De La
this is
Hoya's
MMA
doesn't.
Prime. This PBC. This
Oh,
is
Hey,
MMA Prime.
on the now they're on Rolly and Pitbull. I heard Tim Zoo and Keith Thurman might not even happen.
No, they're not fighting. Keith Thurman injured. Tim Zhu's gonna
Yeah.
be fighting Sebastian Fundora. You know
oh
what I mean?
wow.
He's tall, that's
Didn't he
6'5".
just get knocked out his last fight though?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he got knocked out by somebody that Tim Zhu already beat, but Styles make fights. Sebastian Fundora isn't somebody that you could just overlook. Go watch any of his fights. There's when you look at him, you do not expect him to be the aggressor that he is. He's also punching down with 10, 12 punch combinations with reckless abandon. So a guy like Sebastian Fundora and another guy like Sabril Matias, uh, those guys are dangerous for anybody. It's because of the style. When a person doesn't care about their defense, guess what? They susceptible to getting knocked out. But the fact that they don't care about their defense, their offense is that much better. They're just offensive juggernauts. They're dangerous. And the man is 6'5". It's hard for anybody to beat him. Mendoza was able to stop him, but you know why Mendoza stopped him? Because the one fighter that a lot of people disrespect because he's been knocked out a lot of times, his face got distorted in the fight against Sebastian Fundora. Erickson Lubin showed chink in the armor of Sebastian Fundora, and Brian Mendoza built off of that. Sebastian Fundora was looking damn near invincible. Erickson Lubin dropped him, and then Mendoza built off of that. So sometimes, and we don't know how Sebastian was affected by being dropped. That was a war that him and Lubin had. Most people didn't even watch the damn fight. That was one of the best wars you're going to see in boxing. Erickson Lubin dropped Fundora. Fundora looked shocked. He had never been hurt like that in his professional career. And it was versus Lubin. And Lubin got his face all messed up and bloated in that fight. He took so much damage in that fight. But Mendoza was on the side, like most boxers do. They watch and they learn from those fights. And they saw, like, damn, this dude can be hurt. He just got hurt. Let's see if we can hurt him some more. So they saw a slippage. And that's why Mendoza did what he did to Fundora. All of this, the reason I'm saying all this is to say that Sebastian Fundora is extremely dangerous. Yes, he got stopped, but he got stopped because somebody else saw a weakness in his game. All fighters have weaknesses, But if you think Tim Tszyu about to just walk over Sebastian Fundora, a man who's 6'5", that aggressive and throws that many punches, you got another thing coming. This might actually be
No,
a tougher
no.
fight. This might be a tougher fight for Tim Tszyu now. And the reason PBC doing this is because of marketing. They want Fundora to beat Tim Tszyu because he's 6'5". What does that mean? That means he's marketable to the honeys. All women like a tall man. So they're gonna get their, a version of Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is selling because people find him attractive. So Fundora has a presence, a ring presence. Like for some performers have a stage presence. When you 6'5", oh, I'm a boxer, people coming to watch the fight, man. I promise you.
He's actually, you know what, KJ? I don't mean to correct you, but he's actually 6'7". He's the same size as Deontay Wilder, which is
Man, that brother
crazy.
ain't 6'7", man. He
Good
not
Lord,
6'7".
6'7".
That's what it says. That's what it says.
He ain't
He is not
6'7".
6'7". He around 6'4", 6'5". And
Yeah.
Don Jr., I'm about to get off in 5 minutes, brother. So you gonna have to catch us the next time. But I know you bring fire to the damn live, brother.
We gonna get
But
you.
I'm
We
getting
see
off
you,
at
man.
1 o'clock.
We love you, man.
I see you, Don Judah.
We see you, Dodger. We see you, baby.
Yeah, Don Jr., Don Jr. go.
And,
I want Virgil
and,
Ortiz versus Tim Tszyu.
We
That's what I
see you,
want.
Dodge. We see you, Dodge.
and I
All
got
right,
my
Don
money
Jr.
on Fundora. I got my money on
Yeah, I've been up
Fundora.
here for over an hour, bro. I'm getting down at 1. That's other than that, I'd have brought you up. I'd have dropped somebody.
Hey, Don. For this few minutes, I'm gonna drop Don and I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna let you have my minutes. I'll buy my time. Good night, guys. Let Don in for a few minutes, man.
Hey,
All
hey,
right, Kefla.
Don, we're gonna let you up, man. If you still here,
All right, night, Kefla.
All right, y'all. Let me get
we're
up
gonna
out
let
of
you
here.
rock out, man. Don Judah gonna close the show. If you still here, go ahead and make the request, man.
I'm trying to get up off of here, y'all. I'm
I
not.
got you, Kefla. I got you.
All right, take me out.
I'm gonna let Don Judah go ahead and be the showstopper. You know that man, shit, he live, breathe, and shit boxes. Let me see. I'm gonna send you the request because it ain't for whatever reason. Oh, there you go. My man Don Judah, what's up, man?
Yeah, I missed y'all tonight.
Yeah, but you can
I
go ahead and
called the
close out the show.
invite late.
I'm gonna stay up for another 10 minutes, man. Anything you gotta
Yeah.
say, go ahead and say it.
Now I agree. I don't think nobody at 135 could really touch Shakur. He ain't gonna let nobody touch him anyway. But yeah, I think Frank Martin. Oh, wait a minute. Tank is still at 135.
And Malignaggi didn't just say 135. He said 35 and 40.
And oh nah, 140. I think he could be touched.
Yeah, that's
140.
that's the thing though. That's why I was like, people don't really understand what Malinaggi's saying. I said at the beginning of the live.
Is
Basically,
that
he's
Paul
saying that Shakur
Paulie?
Stevenson is a Hall of Famer, right? Because if you're clearing out 135 and 140, that means you clearing out Haney, you clearing out T.O., you clearing out Tank, you clearing out all the other big lightweights, like a dude unproven, but Frank Martin. You clearing out all the young guys. You clearing out Sabril Matias, who is a literal killer. You clearing out everybody. So Malignaggi was saying that Shakur Stevenson is basically a Hall of Fame fighter. That's basically what Malignaggi was saying.
Well, he is all the Hall of Famer because when they put you in the Hall of Fame, they count your amateur career too.
Okay.
So being a silver, he most likely because they put what's his name as a silver medalist. He was a light heavyweight. Roy Jones knocked him out. He made the Hall of Fame because of his amateur career. So he definitely, and then he's a three-time champ, right?
No,
3 division champ.
no,
Shakur's a
he only.
no.
had a belt at
I'm talking about Shakur.
Yeah, he only had a belt at 130. He just got to 135. He only had 2 fights.
No, Shakur had
Didn't he get the
126,
belt from
130, and
Oscar
135.
Valdez?
Shakur's a 3 division champ, 126, 130, and 135. Yeah,
120.
remember he came in at 120. He fought amateurs as 125, so he came pro at 126. He won the title, moved up to 130, won the title, moved up to 135, and that title he got now.
He's gonna get okay. So he's gonna get okay.
Yeah,
All right.
he's
So hey,
he's a Hall
Shakur
of
in the way.
Famer.
So yeah, he this is a Hall of Fame career. I
Yeah.
didn't know about the damn. I'm thinking he was only a champion at 130.
No, he was a featherweight.
Who do you win the belt against at 135?
No, he didn't. He didn't get a belt yet.
Didn't he do the vacant? They fought for the vacant title. That's what that boring fight was.
He beat Joet Gonzalez at 126.
Yeah, but I'm talking about 135. Him and the guy fought for the title. I forget his name. In the
No,
boring
but
fight,
he
last
asked me
fight.
about 135.
Oh yeah, 135. They fought at 135. That was the boring fight he had. The last fight.
He fought.
Oh,
That was
Edwin
the
De Los Santos?
vacant
That
title?
was the vacant title that took from that what you call him gave up, vacated. Haney. Yeah, Haney
Okay.
vacated the
So
belts.
then three division. God damn.
Yeah, he had three division champ.
And he had a historic amateur career, as you said, Don Judah. And
Huh?
that's why we elongated the live. Don Judah coming with the facts for your ass.
Yeah. But I think Shakur. I'm gonna be. If you put Shakur and Haney in there after Shakur have a little more fights at 135 and he move up probably 1 or 2 fight, I think he hit harder than Haney. So, and I think Haney don't have the power to make Shakur respect him. So you'll see a different Haney. I mean, a different Shakur.
Shakur, his punches are more precise too when you watch him.
Yeah. Yes.
Like
So I
he
think he
plays
gonna
his punches
sneak in
better than
there,
Haney.
throw some power shots, back up, wait for Haney to do what he do. The long jab gonna probably pop him, and he gonna come right back in, tear that body up, come back. His hands, he has nice hands. He just scared to get hit.
And
Yeah,
Haney's
well,
there to be hit.
I don't even
Haney's
think
there to
that
be hit.
Shakur is scared. Yeah, I think he's just in the mentality. Like Devin Haney and Shakur, they grew up idolizing Floyd.
Mhm.
Hey, somebody background was making a lot of noise. I think it's. Let me see something. All right. So anyway, Devin Haney and Shakur, they grew up idolizing Floyd, but they grew up idolizing Floyd Money Mayweather. That's when Floyd became a pay-per-view star. So
Exactly,
their
because
whole
they
thing
was
is
babies.
hit and don't get hit, hit and don't get hit. It's like that's
Yeah,
not how Floyd really built his name.
because when he was
So
pretty Floyd, they was babies. So they was
yeah. So they kind of perfected a style of being careful, and that's not really what it's about when you're trying to be a star. But I
right.
don't think Shakur is scared to get hit. He's just gonna have to change his mentality. But when he been boxing like that for most of his life, so that's not an easy fix. Same thing with
Now,
Haney. Whereas Tank style has been action packed for most of his life, so it was nothing for him to transition as a pro and be an exciting fighter.
yeah, but I look at Tank differently because he's so little in the short arms. He had no other choice to learn both.
Exactly,
He had no other
exactly.
choice. So,
Yep.
and then he had
He
that
had
little
to come
power.
forward.
So it was like,
But you know
okay, if
what
I,
though? You know what though? He did have a choice though, because it really people say the short arms and this and that. Pernell Whitaker don't have the longest arms in the world, and Pernell isn't the biggest man in the world.
yeah,
And Pernell was outboxing dude. It didn't matter how big the opponent was. When he went to welterweight, I can't think of the dude's name, but the guy had measurements that were longer than Devin Haney's. The dude was 5'11". I think it's some type of Gonzalez or something,
well,
but
you
the
can
dude
look at
was
the Oscar De La Hoya fight. Oscar De La
yeah,
Hoya's 5'11".
De La Hoya is another dude,
But
but De La Hoya ain't even that damn tall. Pernell got in there with a man who was 5'11" at welterweight with a 72.5-inch reach and toyed with him off boxing skill. So Tank
yeah,
had a choice. It's just that Tank is very, very skilled, but he's not on the Pernell Whitaker level of skill.
I
He
was
leans
going to
more
say that
towards
when you
power.
finished. I was going to say that when you finish because Purnell was a boxing legend.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
legend right
His
there. And
skill
I
level
think
is
I
one of
think
the.
Purnell was
It don't get
five
no
seven
better
though.
skill level wise. It don't get no better than certain
Yeah,
dudes like the
I think he
Purnells and
was.
the Floyds and the Sanchez's.
Yeah, I think Purnell was 5'7" though.
No, no, hell
Because
no.
yeah,
Pernell,
because Meldrick Taylor was 5'6", and Meldrick Taylor was 5'6". I think Purnell was 5'7".
go look at a picture of Pernell Whitaker standing next to Floyd Mayweather. Floyd like 5'8". Pernell is noticeably shorter than Floyd. Pernell 5'7" in shoes is basically what I'm saying.
Huh.
I don't
He
know. I
ain't.
got to go back and
He's a
look at
small
that
man.
because he wasn't as small as Tank. He's small, but he was a little bigger than Tank as far as
The
height.
only thing that Pernell had on Tank, and a lot of people don't, they sleep on this. Pernell arms are longer than Tank.
Yeah, and that matters.
Yeah,
That matters a
it
lot.
matters, but the weight class that he was able to go up against, and the fighters he was able to go up against, he would be in there with a 5-6 inch reach disadvantage, and it didn't show up when
Mhm.
Pernell Whitaker fought Roger Mayweather. Roger Mayweather has longer arms than Floyd.
Way,
Roger Mayweather had a 75-inch reach.
yeah.
It didn't show up. It
Mhm.
didn't make a damn difference.
The
He
Black
went there and
Mamba,
dropped Roger. That was
yeah,
one of Pernell's most exciting fights. Like
yeah. I
it was
actually
a whole
watched that
different
fight.
skill
I
level
remember
when you
that
talk about
fight too.
Pernell.
But I always look at Eddie Cook. I don't know if y'all remember Eddie Cook, but he was built just like Tank. Tank was a better fighter, but they also punched alike. And who destroyed Eddie Cook was what's his name? The Mexican fighter that beat the dude from England, the Arab dude from England. Uh, I
You
can't think of his
Nassim,
name.
Prince Nassim?
Oh, Barrera,
The one that
Barrera.
beat Barrera, Marco Antonio
Oh,
Barrera, ended Eddie Cook run as a featherweight when he beat him. But he was built just like Tank, had that power just like Tank, and he was building that reputation until Marco Antonio Barrera. He ran into him. But Eddie Cook was a good fighter
Barrera was
though.
dangerous.
Yeah. Marco Antonio Barrera ended a lot of people's careers. Y'all need to look at that. He ended a lot of potential careers. Junior Jones, Eddie Cook, Nassim Hamed. That dude is he's one of the best Mexican fighters ever, but he's
Yeah.
slept on because
And he on the list. He's on. No, he ain't slept on. When you look up the list of the greatest Mexican fighters, his name gets mentioned.
it gotta be. It
Yeah.
gotta be.
Is it
That
up there
dude-
with Morales too?
Yeah.
Yeah, Morales get mentioned too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
He's up
somebody
there.
that slept on because Canelo better than him legacy wise, and he always beefing with Canelo, and it's funny as hell to me. Manuel Marquez.
Manuel?
Manuel Marquez is one of my favorite Mexican fighters because
Yeah.
the way he counters, like he uses his feet. He uses a lot of in and
Oh,
out movement.
yo.
He's very intelligent fighter.
Yeah,
Great counter puncher.
he used
He's
that
not just a
wide
guy that
stance.
you want to sit in front of you and trade.
Yeah,
And-
he used that wide stance that your coach tell you don't use. You keep your feet wide apart, waiting for that counter. Marquez used that real well.
And Marquez wasn't even fast, bro. He had really good timing.
No, he quick, man. He's more
real
quick
quick.
than fast. Like Marquez take a step back and throw a 6-punch counter combination. So you call it fast, you call it whatever you want. That motherfucker is quick.
I think he used to watch Duran.
Yeah, exactly. That's
I think he-
who would do that stuff.
Yeah, he watched Duran. He had to study Duran. I mean, he ain't as good as Duran. I'm not saying that for the people that's looking at me like I'm crazy, like Duran. He just studied him.
Stylistically, you can see some of it. I know exactly. Like literally,
Yeah.
if you watch, especially in his younger days, Marquez take a step back and throw a 6-punch combination.
Yeah.
You don't really see dudes doing that.
Yeah, he was a great
Well,
fighter.
There was like
another
this
thing-
one dude that he fought from Thailand, I want to say. Marquez.
Where was Chapo Rosario from? Edward Chapo. I can't remember if he was Puerto Rican or Mexican. That dude was a good fighter too. Edwin Chapo Rosario. Nobody know him. He an old school fighter.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know
He
either.
from the late '80s, early '90s. He was a good fighter, man. He fought Hector Camacho and they cheated him, and he beat Camacho. He dropped Camacho and everything, and they cheated. I think he's Mexican. And
Man, a lot of people don't be knowing, man. Unless you follow the fight, you can never just look at the box record. Boxing be on that bullshit. I'll give you an example. It's a fighter out there, Irish fighter named Hogan, right? This man already beat Jaime Munguia is so-called undefeated. Hogan beat that man in Mexico, and they robbed him. I would never forget the fight. And I'm sitting there like, look at this bullshit. Just so all of that, just so Jaime could go into the Canelo fight, undefeated and actually have a chance to match up with Canelo, because this shit is so plotted and planned. They'll plan the guy's entire career because it's all about money anyway. So they're like, okay, we know that Canelo want to fight somebody that he has a chance to beat. We got this guy, Jaime Munguia, who's pretty good, and the Mexican fan base, they love him. They actually paying money to go see him. Let's protect him. Let's keep him undefeated, so when he goes up against Canelo, people can actually take the damn fight serious. But Hogan already beat Jaime Munguia in Mexico. The shit is crazy. He already beat him, and it was pretty convincing.
And
Canelo don't fight Mexicans unless it's Jaime Munguia.
They give you a little extra on your check. Yeah, we know you won, but take this little 50,000 extra on your check.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they'll do that. They'll do that. Yeah, they'll do that.
So that way the guy isn't complaining too much the next day.
Yeah, that's why you see it go away a lot of times. A lot of times you hear, "I want to fight," and you be like, "Why are you not protesting anymore? Why didn't you?" They paid him off. Shut the hell up. You ain't the star in this, bro. Yeah.
You ain't moving no units. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Yeah, nobody coming to see you the next fight. So you going out of here. They did that to Livingston Bramble against Obakar. Obakar was up and coming. They wanted him to be that man. And he fought Livingston Bramble. Livingston Bramble beat that boy ass. I mean, he beat his ass. At the end of the fight, and the winner is Obakar. The crowd, I never heard a crowd boo that hard in my life.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, people don't, they have no idea, but in boxing, a lot of fans get caught up with the name. And it's like, bro, boxing is day to day. So it don't matter what the fuck your name is. You could be any name. If you don't get up and go to that training camp and put that work in every day, you can lose to any man who has a certain skill base. You can't lose to just anybody. But any man that's been training, has experience, and has a decent enough skill base, if he got up every day to whoop your ass, he can whoop your ass. And that's what a lot of fans, they don't get it.
I remember a boxer was interviewed I think he lost the fight and they asked him, "This sport is very tough. You think you're going to retire?" He said, "The fight wasn't nothing." He said, "The preparation for the fight is the hardest part. The fight is the easy part." He said,
People don't,
"The
yeah,
preparation."
look, when you
Yeah.
run repeat miles and miles and then you sparring and your body start breaking down throughout camp, but you still mentally got to keep on going. And a lot of these dudes don't be, if you're not a big star, you're not even in position. Like you're not getting massages after the damn day. You're
You
not
can't pay for the
eating the
correct
best food,
sparring.
none of that shit. You just
One of
out there dogging it out. Some of these dudes got jobs.
one of the things about having signing with promoters, because people always say, "Why you sign with a promoter?" First of all, a promoter pay for your good sparring. You're gonna pay them back later, but they pay for your good sparring. They pay for you to be able to train in any atmosphere, altitude for you to
Yep.
go to, and that prepares you better than somebody who say, "Well, I'm gonna sign with my neighborhood promoter." They don't have the finance to put you in these
Really?
situations to get that good sparring, get you training camps in different areas, Colorado,
Yep.
you train in Colorado, that high altitude in the mountains and all that. That helps your breathing, you know.
And
So
somebody
that's why
says
a lot of people
connection.
go to these.
Like,
Yeah, they got those
like when you would
connections.
have, my bad to cut you off. When you with a big promoter, it may be a fight that you do lose, but since you with a certain promoter, they're gonna get you past that fight. Basically, you're gonna remain especially in today's day and age, you're gonna remain undefeated because that's so important nowadays for whatever reason.
Yeah, look at Boo Boo. He just got his ass whooped. Did he get in the title shot? I don't
Exactly.
understand. I don't understand that. I'm confused.
Isn't Boo Boo fighting David Morale?
Somebody, I don't even know, but I
Did
know it's a
he fighting
title
David
fight.
Morrell?
I think so.
Yo,
He fight.
they throwing that man to the damn. They making him walk the plank. God damn.
I think it's on an undercard, and I think Edwin De
Well,
Los Santos is fighting Venezuela again.
you know what it is with some fighters, they getting older and they want that money and they putting
So
their
they
health
take
on the
anything.
line for that paycheck.
They
You
take
know?
anything.
Yeah, it's like, man, how much you paying me? $2 million? I'll take it.
Yeah, Boo Boo, because he's 36. That's why he
Yeah,
fought. He had no business fighting Benavidez. He said, fuck
no
it, I'm going to be on
business at
pay-per-view.
all.
I'm about to get a nice 7-figure check. And now he jumped in there with Morrell. God damn. He on his way out. That's
Yeah,
not a
he
fight
on
he
his
really
way
should.
out, so
He
he
not even
taking.
really he shouldn't even really be fighting at super middleweight. He should have stopped at middleweight. But the money fights are at super middleweight.
Yeah, right
Nothing
now.
really
That's
stopping at
funny how it
middleweight.
changed up, right? The money fights used to be middleweight, and now it's
You
because
know why?
Canelo. So
Jamal Charlo. He slowed down the entire division.
yeah,
He was supposed to be a big name. He's supposed to be a big name. And then he was supposed to go and fight them damn British fight. Like he was supposed to go fight Chris Eubanks and knock him out. And because that's where a lot of money come in when you get the American middleweights going to overseas. Sugar Ray Robinson pretty much started it. But when you go overseas, them Brits, they love their boxing. So even though they don't necessarily be having the top talent, they be having pretty good fighters, and that's how you get historic nights.
this is the best I've ever seen the British fighters. Like today, because of the heavyweight fighters and everything. I know they always had the Nigel Benn and the Chris Bank Senior, but today is the best British fighters I've ever seen in my time.
And they deep. They deep. Like Daniel Dubois,
Yeah,
Joe Joyce, they're
yeah,
not top dudes, but the fact that both of them is guys that can stop you on any given night. Like
hmm
if people try to act like Dubois didn't stop Usyk and they didn't help Usyk out.
yeah. That
That
was
man
crazy.
stopped that motherfucker. That was
Yeah,
it. That was it. The fight was over.
that was a
Body
knockout.
stop
Yeah,
done. And
yeah,
it's so messed up because that's what boxing is about. It's not just supposed to be, well, I'm more skilled than you, so I'm going to win. Everybody know that Daniel Dubois can't outbox Usyk, but his power won him today. They should have allowed that man to
yeah. They should
win
have
that
allowed
fight.
them to take that win and get a rematch and see
Yeah,
come
and
back,
see what's really won.
another one.
But
Yeah,
it's so much about marketing in the machine. They talking about, oh, we got to get the Fury versus Usyk fight. Fury and Usyk got to remain undefeated. You know, these two white guys fighting for. Like, bro, Fury lost to Ngannou. The belt wasn't even on the line, but they should have went ahead and put the L on that man record.
yes, they
Usyk
should have.
lost to Dubois. They should have put the L on the man record. That's
Yeah,
what make the fighters come back and be better. Y'all giving them all of these damn gift decisions. That's why they losing to guys they shouldn't be losing to, because y'all babying these motherfuckers. You're not forcing them to grow.
yep, yep. And I don't know. I haven't seen Tyson Fury, but other than that silly fight, I haven't seen Tyson Fury fight since fucking Wilder. Like, what does this do? He just
And
allowed the
he's
whole.
about to fight somebody because he doesn't want to go straight into the Usyk fight, I think.
Well, yeah, he just holding on the belts.
Yeah. That's
Crazy.
another thing. Like that's why PBC, I think Kefa talks about it all the time, but PBC, they're gonna make it mandatory that you gotta fight at least twice a year, because it's like people y'all stopping up the sport. Jamal Charlo stopped up the sport. With that, he had the belt for 2.5 years.
Yeah,
No
but
fights
they gonna take them
for
belts
mental
now.
problems.
They gonna take them belts. But
Yeah,
I think both Charlos are dealing with some mental stuff, man.
yeah, both of them. But my
Yeah,
thing is, look, fighters have always been dealing with mental stuff.
yeah,
It may sound harsh, but the difference between the guys then and the guys now, the guys back in the day, they just didn't talk about it. They were taught not to, don't let them see you sweat.
but at
Like
least it's
when you look at Muhammad Ali, what they put Ali through, the average person would have broke down. They would have had a mental breakdown.
yeah, true. But at least they caught their mental problems after some wars. These dudes ain't had no real wars yet, and
Yeah, they
already I
having
think
outside of the ring problems,
yeah,
mainly
that's what I'm
problems with
saying. All they stuff don't is non-boxing
women.
related.
Yeah,
Women, they two girlfriends fighting each other. I'm like, what are y'all fighting for? For the opposite man? I don't get.
yeah. I mean,
Yo,
it's
they,
just women, man. But yeah,
yeah,
boxing isn't it. Really, to be honest, the real reason why this shit is happening is because you got guys who in that spot who are not really supposed to be in that spot, but the sport is driven so much through business. Some guy that probably could come along and beat him, he's not even gonna get a chance. No,
mhm.
like boxing is so fucked up right now. It's crazy. Like it's crazy. When I saw what they did with the Barroso versus Rolly, I was like, wow.
Yeah. That old man,
Like
his
that
they
shit,
had to
that
do to
really
stop
let
him,
me
man.
know. Okay, this shit is not even box. Back in the day, it was dirty as well, but there was a time period where the shit started to get okay. It's dirty, but it's also legit. Right now, this shit is all entertainment. It's all
Yeah,
entertainment.
it's
And if you happen to
100%
have a
entertainment.
fighter that's skilled, then you lucky because it's like okay, we pushing this guy, but he's also very skilled, like Tank Davis. But even
Yeah,
Tank, 30 years old, you ain't fought Devin or Shakur. That's crazy.
yeah. And
That's crazy.
I was debating with somebody the other day, and I was like, yeah, he's a good fighter, but we need to see it in the ring. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to see it against mediocre fighters. Champs, top dogs need to fight top dogs so you could prove in
Yeah,
your record in the record books that you was great. Because 20 years from now, 30 years from now, the people behind us ain't gonna know who the hell he is because
exactly.
there's nothing
People
to
remember
remember
you.
him
That's what people
about.
don't
Who did he
understand. Your
beat?
boxing career, the way that you remember. Look at Ken Norton. People gonna talk about him forever because of how he performed against Ali.
Ali.
All him losing
They
those
forget
fights
how
after
George
fuck
Foreman beat the crap out of him. They don't even care about how George Foreman beat him. All they remember, he beat Ali.
exactly, exactly, because that's what it's all about.
He broke
What did
Ali
you
jaw.
do when you got in there against a man who's already proven to be great? What did you do? That's what it is.
Yeah.
Nobody give a fuck about them debut fights. Nobody cares about the run of the mill, the journeyman that you beat. They don't even
Mhm.
care about necessarily the contenders. When you got in there against another great fighter, how did you perform? That's how
Yep.
greatness is measured in the sport of boxing and in life.
Yep.
So
Yep.
if Tank really want to be remembered, he should have been fought Loma, for example. That's why I always say Devin better than Tank. Tank should have been fought Loma.
Yeah.
The fight
Well,
never happened.
his status is definitely higher, no doubt. He. Now, I mean, Tank didn't even fight the other guy from Australia. Like he didn't even fight that level yet. He
Yeah,
should have at least jumped. Okay, well, him and Loma is fighting right now. He should be talking about I'm fighting the winner of that fight. He's still
exactly.
talking about people talking about me. I don't want to hear that. Tell me who you gonna fight
Who you
next.
going
It's the
exactly?
winner of
But you know
Loma
what though?
and
Frank Martin
Kambosos.
is to step up, and the people understand that's not no easy fucking fight. I don't care what
No, it ain't. It
nobody says.
ain't. It ain't. But Frank Martin doesn't have that them top quality fights either.
Either.
Yeah. So
So
what are you doing?
basically it's another Ryan Garcia fight, but on a little bit. Basically,
Exactly.
instead of Tank really
Exactly.
jumping into the water, he put
With
his
less.
toe in the water against Ryan. Now he putting his leg in there before he really jump in. But at this
Yeah.
point, he should be nose deep. You know what I mean? Nose deep with a motherfucking what they got the damn scuba diving mask. He should be deep in the water like Devin Haney deep
He
in this
don't.
shit.
He
Devin,
don't
if
have
Devin
no
fought Lucas, Devin
prime
really let me know everything I need to
Hall
know.
of Famers or future Hall of Famers on his resume. And
None.
I said prime. So I don't want nobody to talk about the Cuban dude he fought. Gamboa was already finished.
Gamboa,
I'm
first
talking about
off,
a
people don't even
prime.
know this. Gamboa tore his Achilles in the second round.
Mhm.
Tank was gonna beat him anyway. Tank had already dropped him, but
Yeah.
that just show you that Gamboa was done. You know what I mean? When you a fighter, you tear your Achilles, and you an aged fighter, that means it's time to let it go.
Yeah. He was done though. He
Yeah,
should have retired after Crawford.
yeah. Well, no,
But
no,
Gambo
that was his first loss. He shouldn't have retired after
yeah,
Crawford.
but he was getting
Gambo was a stepping stone for all these dudes.
yeah now. But Gamboa was a good fighter.
Yeah,
He was
he
a
was a
good
great
fighter.
fighter. He's a great fighter.
Yeah, he was Olympian. He wasn't no
And what do you
walkover.
say, Don Judah? They ran into Mike
Yeah,
Tyson. He ran
that's
into
what I'm
Terrence
saying.
Crawford.
Pinklin Thomas, all these dudes had good names before Mike fought him. Pinklin Thomas and Tony Tucker were considered good fighters until they bumped into Mike
I would
Tyson.
say the same thing. Gamboa ran into Terrence Crawford. Like that man was
Exactly.
undefeated and Olympian. Terrence took a lot out of that man. In the
It's
same
because
way that people they not gonna want to admit it, Terrence took a lot out of Arrow. And fucking what's my man named Sean Porter? Everybody love him. Sean retired after the Crawford fight. So Terrence Crawford has been the guy that's stopping dudes in a way that Don Judah says Mike Tyson stopped three.
dudes. Yeah, they act like he was going to decision with these mediocre fighters. I always say, if he was winning 10 round and 12 round decisions against these dudes, then you could say, hey, he ain't did nothing. But he was knocking them out convincingly, putting them to sleep. And other fighters were fighting him after Mike did that and still was winning, either getting late round stoppages or decision wins. They weren't knocking them cats out. You know, they got gifts. I'm beyond Lennox Lewis and Holyfield got a gift that Mike ruined himself.
Yeah.
They got a gift.
Yeah.
They got a
Especially
gift.
Lennox. I don't look, I don't really count the Holyfield. Even though Holyfield beat Tyson, if Holyfield wasn't using the shit he was using, not only does he not beat Tyson, but he's not even gonna be able to be competitive at heavyweight. The man was a natural light heavyweight. He took that shit in his neck. He had two necks. Like, I don't give a fuck. Man, for the record books, he beat Tyson, but really, no, he's not supposed to beat Tyson. He was a guy who used HGH and stuff.
Yeah, he was fucking with Lee Haney. Lee Haney is the master of that steroids and ped stuff.
Go look at Mike Tyson at 12 years old. The man already was built already had the same musculature. And guess what? Now the payback or the karma, Mike Tyson body still work at 57. That's the difference when you do it naturally. Holyfield, he barely could walk, put his left foot in front of the right foot because all of that steroids that break your body down. And I'm in alive with this, man.
Yeah, you know what made me sad, Jay? I was in Atlanta. I used to live in Atlanta a couple of years. I had a security company there. And I saw Holyfield get out of a C-class Mercedes-Benz. Listen what I said. A C-class, not an S. You know how small a C-class, a girl would have trouble in this. And I was like, damn, that dude used to be the heavyweight champ, 4 times? And he down to, that messed up. I'm not putting claws, but I'm just saying.
No, I understand. And you said you seen him hitting the bag on the other live, and you said it almost brought tears to your eyes because the man broke.
When I saw Shaq, because I love my boxers, man.
Right.
I'm a favor Mike Tyson because Mike Tyson just brung people that wasn't even into boxing.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson might be responsible for casuals. I mean, let's be for real. Mike Tyson had people that never watch boxing watch boxing.
Look, it's a reason why that man is on the all-time pay-per-view list.
Yeah, so he gonna always be one of my favorites. Yeah. But I love Holyfield too, and to see him on TikTok shadow boxing like he was a dead man walk. He was looking like a zombie. That shit that hurt my heart, man. Like, damn, bro. Like,
let me tell you something too, man. Before I end this,
he's not even 60 yet.
Exactly, but that's the result of them drugs, and that's why I'm gonna make this point before I get up out of here. Allegedly LeBron, boy, what you doing to your body in order to still compete? That shit gonna catch up with you and later in life. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I said that
it's
too.
It's not worth it. And I'm saying allegedly because I ain't never seen you do nothing but look.
Yeah,
I ain't allegedly. I'm gonna go ahead and end the live on that, man. Yeah. Don Judah, Walk Down, Jeremiah Wickety, Kev, for everybody that came up. Thank y'all, man. We did our thing tonight. Y'all have a good night, man. It's David at 1:30.
Yeah, these lives are always fun, man.
Yeah.